Hello guys, welcome to the Q&A for July 2025. Lovely to have you with us, and we've got your questions and answers about London visited, and all things connected. And today, where are we? Well, we are just here, on the banks of the River Thames. It's a summer's day, and you can tell it's summer's day because the sunshine's gone. But you've got the Tower of London over there. Sorry, Tower London, Tower Bridge even. The building, which is at a slope, is the old GLC building, so that's where the local government used to run. And it's been used in quite a few films there. You've got all sorts of stuff which has been built up on the bank here of the Thames. We're on the south bank. Across the other side, you have the Tower of London. And actually, we'll zoom in on that one, but you can see the poppies coming down from the top, which is there until November as part of their display and commemoration. And here, as we swing round, you've got the City of London, grey skies, and HMS Belfast. But our walk today, we're going to go down here, and we're going to walk through to Butler's Wharf, answer your questions as we go, and get a little bit closer to Tower Bridge. So, hope you're all good. Thank you so much for your questions. You never fail to amaze me with some of the questions, which are brilliant. So, thank you everyone for submitting those. We'll give you a name check as well, and we'll also put down a chapter so you can see which ones we're answering. Some of them take longer than others, and some of them I'll just go waffling to make it feel like it's all, because that's what I do. We just have a talk about London and everything else that's going on. Right, let's get over, before we start, let's just get over here and give you a view across the Thames before we start walking down, so we'll give you a panoramic. So, over we go, and we'll start over here. So as you can see, we have a Tower Bridge from 1894. As we go round next to Tower Bridge, that's the old Tower Hotel, still a hotel, which is used. Then as we go round, there we go, across the water, tides up, you have the Tower of London. Featured in many of our videos, you've got the whole series on that and a playlist, so if you want to see everything about the Tower of London, we've got that covered in there. As we swing round, we've got some of the boats that take you up and down the Thames. Then we have the City of London, skyscrapers of the City of London, including the one with the point, which is the Scalpel. You've got the Sky Garden there, just behind HMS Belfast, which is on Fenchurch Street. And the really tall one is 22 Bishopsgate, which is one of those you can get to the very, very top, and it's free. And you get amazing views of London there as well. As we swing round, there we go. Right. Oh, and just through the centre, just keeping it going there, through the centre of Tower Bridge, you have a Canary Wharf, which is about 3 or 4 miles away. But you can see the skyscrapers of Canary Wharf just through the centre there. So there you go. Right. And the beautiful thing is, if you're flying in and out of London, you'll probably come over this way down the Thames as you're coming to Heathrow. If you come to Gatwick and you come over this, you're lost. Anyway, I like the word with your pilots because they don't come this way. Right, this is quite interesting. This is a temporary building they put up here for summer. It's a restaurant stroke drinks place, etc. But they've built this especially for summer, so it's a temporary thing. Because down here at Christmas, Christmas, that word, we're off. They have all the markets down here. So this is up here. And tonight they've got Summer by the River. And they're showing the football this evening, ladies Euros. And what else? They got someone else doing a DJ set. So they certainly make use of this area then. Right, just give you a quick swing round before we take the first question. Here we go. Lovely, there you go. Right, oh there are. And there you go, you've got a boat coming through as well. This is one of the Thames Clippers, the Uber boat, which you can hop on and off to get amazing views of London. Right, should we do it? Why not? let's get some questions sorted. So, I think what we'll do is we'll take them in order that we receive them. On with the glasses, because now you can see them in serious business. And as we go through here, right, here we go. This is a good one. So this is from Catherine, also known as Sweet Life 7771, and she says, typical, we're doing this right by the river as opposed to the road. Sorry, that's my fault and lack of planning. But she says, and actually we can put that in a little bit later, she says, can you explain the type of street crossing lights I often see in your videos? These are very yellow balls that are sometimes blinking and sometimes not. The other kind of pedestrian crossings you have in London with red, yellow and green lights are very familiar to Americans, self-explanatory. But the other ones that only have the yellow don't make sense to me. Can you explain them? Right, I can. So, those ones are on what they call zebra crossings. Okay, so these came out in the 1940s, and also what they are is, if you look on the ground going across the road, gives pedestrians the right of way to go over the road. So if a pedestrian starts walking out, a car has to stop. Okay, and the reason they're called zebra crossings is because they're striped. So you've got the black bits, the white bits, alternating, and it was Callaghan at the time. What was his name? Oh, I can't remember. But anyway, he was the Prime Minister. Roy Callaghan, I think it was. Anyway, he was Prime Minister in the 1970s. But in the 1940s, he was Transport Minister. And he looked at it and said, oh, they resemble a zebra. Hence the term zebra crossing came into it. Now, the yellow lights, the blinking lights, which sometimes blink and sometimes don't, should always be blinking. If they're not blinking, it's because the bulb's blown or there's no electricity to it. But basically, it's a warning sign, or it's a warning sign to those of cars. Here we go. Let's give you a shot here of Tower Bridge as we go through, and we're going to get a fantastic view from the other side of it when we do Butler's Wharf, from the different side of it. But the poles with the yellow lights and the globe on top is just a warning to cars coming, so they can see that actually from a way off they're coming up to a zebra crossing, and also it's a sign for pedestrians. It's a place to cross the road. That's all they are. So those yellow flashing bulbs or balls on the top of the black and white sticks is literally an indicator. It's a marker for people driving that there's one coming, and for pedestrians, that's where they should be crossing the road. And there's nothing more to it than that. They're just warning lights, or a marker for people to see. But yes, to anyone else, they do look rather strange, don't they? Yeah, very strange. Tell you what, let's just go underneath here. So here we're going underneath. Now, we're going under Tower Bridge. This is the only bar under Tower Bridge. That's the Vault, it's called. So you can go in there and you get a view out across the Thames. But then as we come down here, you've got the Vault here as well. Well, after the Vault, you've got this area, which is also for the Vault customers only, so you get a view across London. You also get an underneath version of Tower Bridge. And then as you walk down, this is Butler's Wharf. So let's just go up here and give you a view over the wall, what you can see. And sometimes you can go on the beach down below, which we have covered before. But as the tide's in, no chance. Okay. Tower Bridge, round, and then over the other side of the river there you've got St Catherine Docks. And we're going to go around Butler's Wharf, and hopefully we can get down by, well I know we can get down the river by Butler's Wharf, so we'll do that and we'll miss the crowds there. Just going back to your question, Catherine, the Belisha Beacon was named, believe it or not, after Leslie Hoare Belisha was his name, and he was an MP, and he named it was named after him, a 1930s MP. That's what it was named after. So the Belisha Beacon was named after an MP at the time. So that gives you an idea of that. That's what they do. But don't worry about those yellow lights. It's just a marker showing that there's a zebra crossing there. Right, now I think if we go down here, Maggie Blake's Calls, yes, the Thames Path. which we are going to do very, very shortly, because when I put it out there, a lot of people were quite interested in doing the Thames Path Walk. Now, the Thames Path Walk does the whole length of the Thames, right from Gloucester, from its source, which I'm not going to do, because that's not London. But what we will do is we'll do it from Teddington, where it becomes tidal. You've got the lock system, the weirs and all the rest of it down here. But this is the front of Butler's Wharf, and there's a steam paddle boat over here called the Dixie Queen, and every so often that will go underneath Tower Bridge, and they'll raise the arms for Tower Bridge and get that going. But anyway, just to give you an idea, this is the Butler's Wharf Chop House. So if you fancy sitting here outside as everyone else is walking past, you can do. We've got the tables all set up for the evening meal. It's quite a big restaurant, that, isn't it? Yeah, still goes on. But the Dixie Queen steam paddler that they've got over here, you can go on, and I think they do meals and various other bits and pieces as well. But what I love about this place here is not many people come out. Not only do not many people come out, but you also get some lovely views back across to Tower Bridge. And if you look through the centre of Tower Bridge, you have the City of London. And a red bus going across as well. Perfect timing. It's almost as if we planned it on purpose. Nothing of the sort, just happened to be very lucky when we're down here. Right, okay. We're going to carry on down. Now, these are the apartments here at Butler's Wharf. So if you fancy a Thames view and the view of the Tower of London, and you get a flat about Butler's Wharf, just make sure you've got the right facing one and not one into the street and looking the other way. Imagine. I bought a flat at Butler's Wharf. Fantastic. What's the view like? Yeah, unfortunately I picked the wrong side. I've got the road down below and not the Thames and everything else. Although that'll give you a premium view on that one. A premium price as well. Right, so let's go to the next one. Lovely. Oh, here we go. We've got a sailing boat going in to Catherine Docks over the other side, which is just over there, and they've actually got the lock open because the water is at the same level as the water in the marina at St Catherine Docks. So therefore, you've got the boats going in there. As it goes round. Okay, let's keep going. I've got more bars and stuff down here as well. So it's a nice little place to come. And that's all bar one, which is a pub. So you come in here, grab a seat, and you can watch the world go down the Thames. But we'll just keep close to here so you get the Thames view. And we did a walk recently on the other side of the Thames, down to the Blitz Memorial. So that was a recent one. If I remember, I'll put a link on there. Okay, so next question is from Nancy. When do most shops in London have their Christmas decorations available for purchase, and when do they turn on the Christmas lights in London? Great question, Nancy. So thank you very much for that. In answer, right, so the first Christmas decorations this year coming out in the shops, Harrods, 25th of July. I've been in there and I've asked. So not long after, we'll go down there, film and bring them to you. They're the first. Then you've also then got a rush between Selfridges, which comes out sort of early September, Liberty, John Lewis come out about then as well. So all the normal ones, Fortnum and Mason as well. So that's when the decorations come out. As far as switching on the lights are concerned, normally it's right at the beginning of November for those first 2 weeks. That's when they switch them all on. All the street lights here at Carnaby Street normally goes first. You have Oxford Street goes very, very early as well. Regent Street is a little bit later. Plus then you've got all the different places around London as well, including Belgravia, Chelsea, all the ones that we feature. Normally, by about mid-November, all the lights are on in the street. So if you're coming over mid-November to early December, you miss the madness of Christmas, but you get to see all of the lights, all the decorations, and all the shops will be full of stuff. So there you go. Thank you, Nancy. Brilliant question. And that couldn't have been more timed perfectly, especially as Harrods is due to go very, very shortly. Here, let's just give you a quick dip round. That guy's looking angry, isn't it? Wow. Okay. Let's give you a swing round there. Next one comes in from Luana. Brilliant one, this one. What, where and when was the first mental asylum established in London? Interesting one there. Now this was the Bethlehem Royal Hospital in 1247 down south of London. That's when it was first established. It was nicknamed and known as Bedlam. Now Bedlam is a really interesting word because we use it quite a lot in the UK, and if we say something is Bedlam, it's like madness, and that's where it'll originate from. So if you say, I don't know, you go somewhere and the crowds are queuing and you just say, God, that's absolute carnage, it's Bedlam, that's where it comes from, madness. So that's where it was, that's when it was, and that's where the term Bedlam comes from. It comes from that hospital from 1247. I love some of the derivation of words. It's quite incredible, isn't it? Really is. Okay, what we're going to do here is we have a little dock area here. When the tide is out, it is completely dry. It's like a mud flat. But what we're going to do is we're going to walk across it, and that's going to take us to New Concadia Wharf, walk around there, and do the Thames Path around that. So, hope you're enjoying this, guys. Thank you so much for your questions. We've still got more to go. Next one is Irma, and she says, what kind of happenings are there in London's parks during the summertime? Yeah, let's give you a view here because you don't see my ugly face. During the summertime, and how can I get information about them, says Irma. Your best bet is websites. There's loads and loads of websites. The one I would really go to is the Royal Parks website. There's a Royal Parks website which covers all of those, and that will tell you all the different events, etc., that are going on there. I'm also going to say, give it a couple of ticks because we've got a good question as well from Dee Dee who wants to know about free gigs, and I would also suggest that you log into some of the sites I'm about to give in that answer very, very shortly, so stay tuned for that one. But as a first point of call, I would definitely go to the Royal Parks website and they will tell you. There we go. We have geese floating down here and ducks, all gently taking it easy as we go over the footbridge. Oh, I like that one. The Harpy houseboat. 1904 HMS Harpy. There you go, give you a view back across there. And then, unfortunately we run out of sideway here, and we'll go through here. This is all the part of the Thames Path on the south side of the river. But the good news is it's all signposted. So when you come off that bit here, then shows you the Thames Path continues down this way. So we're going to walk down that. And these are old wharfs. A lot of these buildings were once upon a time used for storage facilities for businesses, etc. That was Reed's Wharf, you can see up there. So they still bear the markings of the original wharfs because they're protected. So they'd be protected buildings, so they've done loads of stuff inside, turned them into offices or into, if not offices, residential, all down by the side here of the Thames. And of course, just for clarity's sake, a wharf, WHARF, stands for Warehouse at Riverfront. That's what wharf stands for, WHARF. Lovely, there you go. Ooh. Now these are new builds here with a beautiful garden area as well. Lovely, all behind the hedge. So hopefully that sorts that one out for you there. But don't forget, keep listening because we'll come back to the answer in just a second as well. Right, here's a really specific one from Diane Moore. And she says, what is the best way to travel to Buckinghamshire from London if you don't have a car? I want to visit the Margaret Rutherford grave. So I went and looked it up, and the Margaret Rutherford grave is over in Gerrard's Cross. And if you're a Roald Dahl fan, That's also where the museum is for that. And I can highly recommend that. Whether you be an adult or not, definitely pop down there for that. So if you're going to Margaret Rutherford grave, pop into the Roald Dahl Museum. You've got everything Roald Dahl, including his shed where he used to do his writing, his old armchair. You've got everything down there for that, so well worth going down. That's Gerrard's Cross. So in answer to your question, you go from Marylebone Station, which is in central London, just near the top of Baker Street, right near Regent's Park, Marylebone Station. There are trains, believe it or not, 3 times an hour, and the direct time from Marylebone to Gerrard's Cross is 17 minutes. I feel like the national train line, but hopefully, very specific question, but a great one, because the UK isn't just about London, or our channel is about London, but how do you get from London to these places? And actually having London as a base and then pinging out from there is a really good one. Right, we're going to get back on the Thames path down by the Thames in a second, hopefully, and we'll bring you back then. Right, just to give you an idea why we can't do all of the path right by the side of the Thames. Basically, loads and loads of construction going on. So there's a big area of it's closed where they're still constructing. And if you please, Leslie, there you go, there's cranes. Or not, as the case is. But loads of construction still happening. So the Thames path is on and off at different times as we go down. But anyway, we've got a bit back and we're a bit more here. So let's answer some questions. Those buildings, by the way, off in the distance, that is Canary Wharf. Okay. Hello. Yeah, there's the Thames. Let's give you the Thames over there. Lovely. Right. Next one is, where can I find out about free gigs? Says Dee Dee. I hope you're taking this in. For you as well. Oh, let's go wicking around. Oh, you can see the water coming up here as well. At quite a rate, just shows you how tidal it is down here. Water coming in and out. It does move by quite some bit. About 6 metres, I think, is the difference between high and low. Might even be more than that. But anyway, that could be a question for a future. Right. So, Dee Dee says, where can I find out about free gigs in London? Good question. Right, in answer, you can go to Time Out or Visit London, a couple of places, and you can get emails from them. And not only emails from them, you can get lists, you get ideas in different places, etc. We're going to go back by the here in just a couple of seconds. And then also, there's a couple of places that you can actually go that quite often do free gigs, I found out, which is the South End Centre. You've also got the Troubadour in South Kensington. There you go, have a view there. Troubadour in South Kensington, and you've got the Old Blue Last over in Shoreditch as well. So a few places there for free gigs, but definitely go to Time Out or Visit London as an idea for different places where you can go and get different details on gigs. Right, Thames Path goes a bit funny here. I think it goes down this way, so this is where we're going to head. Right, it's going to get a bit sketchy now, how much we actually get to see. So, as we go down here, a couple of questions left. Michelle says, are there any amusement parks in London? There are amusement parks, but the closest ones are on the outside of London because of the price of everything, etc. So you've got Chessington World of Adventures, you've got Thorpe Park, and I would also include Legoland over in Windsor in there. But they're probably about 20 to 30 miles outside of London, about around the M25, which is a big orbital motorway that goes around London, about 20 miles out circular from London. It takes you right round the outskirts of London, good way to get around. But they're all around there. So that's from you, Michelle. And then also Michelle asks, is there a way to tour London by horse-drawn carriage? There is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to a video that we did previously when we did Paddington Mews, and we found a place down there that does them. So yes, you can. I'll put a link to that up in the top right hand corner, but there are ways that you can do it. I don't know if they can do the whole of London, because I suppose in built up areas it might be a bit dodgy for horses and horse-drawn carriages, but you can certainly do some of the places, so really good on that one. And our final question, comes from Kaylee Ben Wishaw, who actually says, what's it like in November in London, England, weather-wise? It really does depend. Sometimes it can be flipping freezing, other times it can be cool, but not flipping freezing. Really does depend on the weather, but it's probably the coldest and wettest. Then I would say end of October through to about February, middle of February, it really is hit and miss, because you're never quite sure what the weather's going to do. So there you go. Hope that helps on that one. Guys, amazing questions. Let's just give you some of these houses down by the side here. Look at these. It's almost like mews houses, but not, because there's no mews round here. But some lovely places to live, all near the front of the river. And this is called National Terrace. Beautiful. And I wonder how much those are. If I get a chance, I'll put down how much each one of these would cost. Quite a lot, I would think. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this month's Q&A. Also, thanks for all of the brilliant questions. Really, really appreciate it. It's been fantastic. Thank you. A little walk down by the side of the Thames. And I think what we'll do is we'll finish off, because I can see we can get to the Thames again over here. I'll just give you a quick swoop round. And also over here, interestingly enough, we have Dr. Salter's Daydream, which are some statues. We've got that one here. Here we go, this is done in 1991 there. And then on the wall, we have a cat. There you go. Right, so just to give you an idea where we walked one, before we started round by the Shard, and then as you go round, got the whole panoramic of the Thames, and even on the other side there, you've got the police station, the Thames River Police, which goes all the way round. Here we go. Excellent. Thanks so much for joining us. Catch you soon. Take care. Bye. Oh, I just found Mr. Salter himself. There you go.